we get stuck in like, this is the way you do things. This is how you manage this. This is how you'll succeed in this, instead of like, life is about learning and dreaming and making mistakes and all of that. You're going to do all of that. I already did all of that. I think sometimes as adults, I'll talk about myself, sometimes afraid to talk about the mistakes because it makes us look weaker, or we think these children are going to take over if we say we have a weakness, you know? But I think if we just really look at how they learn and play and how they speak to us, I think we would learn a lot more about ourselves. I'll give a couple of personal stories about this. I have a son living with autism. He is now an adult. But when I was navigating just learning about being neurodivergent and learning about a nonverbal person living with autism, it was tough. And as a parent, you want to protect your child. And, they're learning to see their world in ways that others don't. And as a parent, you're going through your own emotions that sometimes we suppress because we're attending to what we call an urgency. Like, my child needs me. I don't have time to think about how I feel. But our emotions are being expressed daily. So one challenge I had when my son was 4 years old was the grocery store. Every time we go in the grocery store, something would set him off, and he would go into a full meltdown on the floor, kicking and screaming, running through the aisles. I'm chasing him. And you know how every parent feels when their child is having a meltdown in public. It's just what's everybody think? What's everybody think? What's everyone think? You're also saying, I'm looking after my child, but you're really, what's everyone thinking, right? And this happened a lot. So people, of course, would have their own reactions and responses. And I, as a parent, would get like defensive and like, why are you looking at me? Looking around, giving them the evil eye. And just one day in particular, I just happened to glance and right into the eyes of my son. And I looked at him and I realized he does not care what anyone thinks. He is upset right now and he's going to express himself, and he's not worried about judgments. He's not worried about what someone said as they were passing by. He is in his moment and he is being heard. So without words, my child taught me to not worry about what people think. Be in the moment. And yes, I have to learn how to navigate my own emotions where I'm not a disruption to someone. But if I care more about my health, my well-being, because if I'm well, I'm going to treat others well. And it just became such a beautiful reminder to me that when I'm in public, no matter if I look perfectly put together, it doesn't matter what people think. If I look like my world is falling apart, it's about what I think about myself and how I'm going to handle the stress or the perfection or the joy or the, whatever it is. And that huge lesson came from my 4-year-old child living with exceptionalities.